Good afternoon, Marshall. Happy Women's History Month to all our female viewers out there. I'm Jimmy John Jacob.
And I'm Riley Burnett. Thanks for joining us on this edition of MU Report.
This afternoon, we're covering the stories making headlines on campus and across our community.
From glass making in Huntington to children being read Dr. Seuss books and even a look at this upcoming March Madness season.
Our first story tonight, things are definitely heating up in Huntington, and we're not talking about the weather. A new studio in Central City is turning molten glass into works of art while also giving the community a chance to see the process up close and try it for themselves. As Abby Ayes reports, Marrowbone Glassworks is showing us how three friends are bringing this historic craft back to life.
Inside Marrowbone Glassworks, things get pretty hot. Literally. Molten glass glows a bright orange as it spins at the end of a blowpipe. What starts as a glowing blob slowly turns into something completely different. A cup, a bowl, sometimes something completely unexpected. But the story behind the glass is just as interesting as the art itself. Huntington's first public glassblowing studio all started with three friends who wanted to share the craft with their community. Creative director James Arnett says opening the studio was all about creating a place where people could see the craft up close.
We got this started in 2025 when I sort of took stock around me and realized that there was no way for me to get my hands on hot glass here in the tri-state area. I'd worked previously at a factory in the region, and the idea of not getting to play with glass was kind of heartbreaking. So we figured out that in order to be able to do it, we'd have to build it for ourselves.
Before opening the studio, the three co-founders spent years working in glass factories. But they wanted something different. Instead of keeping the craft behind factory walls, they wanted to bring the process into the community.
Once we all left manufacturing glass, we're all kind of staked to the area, so there wasn't really anywhere close by that we could just go and do this ourselves, or like pay to rent time to do it anywhere.
Inside the studio, artists move quickly between the furnace and the workbench, constantly turning the pipes so the glass keeps its shape. Move too slow and the glass cools down. Move too fast and the shape falls apart. But when everything works just right, the results are pretty incredible. Studio director Jared Neal says sharing the process with the public is one of the most exciting parts of the studio.
Turning the pipe, you wouldn't think that turning the pipe would be as difficult as it is, but it's keeping a rotation. Like you see Adam, right? And the tip of whatever he's working on, it never drops off center the whole time he's working. But if you realize the glass is amorphous, so he's watching and counteracting every bit of like gravity that's happening with this piece as he's gathering it and maneuvering it.
For the founders, Marrowbone Glassworks is about more than making art. It's about keeping a piece of West Virginia history alive. And here in Huntington, the future of that craft is glowing bright. Abby Ayes, MU Report.
The founders say they hope the studio becomes a place where people can learn about glassblowing and keep West Virginia's glassmaking tradition alive. Marrowbone Glasswork offers live demonstrations and classes to show how handmade glass pieces are created right in the studio.
Drug use has been a hot topic throughout Huntington for decades. However, one new addition to local bars provides an outlet that could potentially save lives. I visited a few bars downtown that have adopted one new box on the wall. Mounted along the walls throughout the local bar scene in Huntington is one small box with the ability to do something special, save someone's life. The One Box, an emergency opioid overdose reversal kit, was invented by Huntington native Joe Murphy and has slowly expanded to a nationwide audience. Jan Rader, the director of the Mayor's Council of Public Health and Drug Control Policy in Huntington, is also the voice inside the box, where a tutorial video can be found for those seeking its use.
He said, I just want you to talk naturally like you would talk somebody through giving naloxone. And at the time, there was legislation trying to make it over the counter and make it more accessible. And that was the whole point. Let's make naloxone more accessible because it saves lives.
For Murphy and Rader, the idea stemmed in an effort to reverse tragedies that they had prior experience with.
He's had friends overdose. I think all of us in Huntington have lost a loved one to this tragedy.
The drug inside the one box, naloxone, an opioid antagonist that blocks opioid receptors in the brain for 30 to 90 minutes. For Dirk Harrison and Alex Vince, owners of the Lantern and Boots Spirits and Feed respectively, being a part of the One Box's journey as a helping hand has been the responsible decision.
So it is a responsible reaction to an issue. That let's say somebody was here and they did have an overdose, I'll be very thankful for no matter what reputation, whether that's on the wall for, I would be most happy and proud that we helped somebody.
So keeping at the bar, I didn't see any negative on it. On the contrary, I saw some positive having it here.
In addition to its recent adoption in local bars, 30,000 kits have been distributed nationwide, with 400 reported lives saved. This small box being placed in bars around Huntington is not only a step towards harm reduction, but also a call to action for businesses everywhere. Riley Burnett, MU Report. More information on the One Box and its contents can be found at www.wvdii.org/onebox.
Now, Holly Belmont joins us to see what's happening around Marshall's campus and community. And remember, you heard it here.
Yeah, so there are a lot of cool events happening in the Huntington area and on Marshall's campus. So first off, mark your calendars for April 2nd, 6 to 8 p.m. for Beyond the Degree, Making the Most of Your Future, an event sponsored by JERNA. JERNA is a student loans reimagined organization that's launching right here at Marshall. Vanguard's first Global Chief Investment Officer, George Gus Souter, will be the keynote speaker, followed by a panel discussion.
There's a lot of homegrown films produced throughout West Virginia. Holly, tell me about what's coming up.
Well, Friday, March 20th at 6 p.m., there's a screening event bringing Appalachian filmmakers, festival guests, and the community together to celebrate Appalachian stories and creativity. Our very own instructor, Randy Yohe, is premiering the film documentary These Boys, the story of the 1937 Flood Band, which won Best Director at the Cineparis Film Festival.
Now, Holly, there's nothing more important than our health, right?
Absolutely, and you're exactly right. The Marshall Outreach Program will be providing free medical care for those in need on Saturday, March 14th from 9 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. at the Huntington City Mission.
Who doesn't like to learn and win prizes at the same time?
Well, the Cabell County Family Resource Network is hosting their Very Hungry for Resources event, themed after the childhood classic that many of us remember from kindergarten. It will be Saturday, March 14th from 2 to 4 p.m. at the First Church of the Nazarene Ball Family Life Center, and will feature an array of activities and even prizes if you're feeling lucky. Free gift cards and books will be first come, first serve.
I know for sure Riley and I definitely just marked down our calendars, and you'll definitely be seeing us at some of those events. It's March, and that means madness. The NCAA men's basketball tournament looms as one of the most exciting times for sports fans as the hoops hysteria gets underway. The tourney begins weeks of buzzer beaters, bracket busters, and millions of fans tuning in across the country. I reported on the business side of the excitement and students' thoughts.
To the court with Archie Diacono. 3 seconds at midcourt. Jenkins gives it to Jenkins for the championship.
March Madness is the home of highlights and heartbreak. March Madness annual activity is one of the biggest events in the United States, drawing millions of viewers and generating massive revenue each year. In 2024 alone, the NCAA generated $1.38 billion in total revenue, with more than $900 million coming directly from the men's basketball tournament.
Much of the money comes from television and advertising, while networks pay billions of dollars in order to stream the games.
But while the business side of the tournament continues to grow, students at Marshall University say the excitement is what keeps them watching every year.
I'm going to say Arizona because, Duke, yeah, the number one, but you never know. Number 2 in the state, they always pull something out, so it's always there.
I think Duke's going to win because they got Cameron Boozer. He's really tough, and Duke's cool.
For some students, even though they don't know anything about the sport, they love picking the potential winners.
I'm going with Arizona, you know. Shout out to Bryce James, shout out to LeBron James. Get James family, let's go.
I think the Michigan Wolverines are going to win March Madness because they're just that good.
I don't think they came out with the brackets yet, but if I had to pick a team, I'm going Duke all the way. Jerseys are tough, they got a good roster, and I'd say, yeah, that's my pick. That's my pick for March Madness.
While one team will cut down the nets at the end of the year, the excitement and business of March Madness will just continue to grow. For MU Report, I'm Jimmy John Jacob.
What a shot. As March Madness gets underway, all eyes will be on the court to see who advances and who falls short. Students, fans, and businesses alike all geared up and all the drama the tournament has to offer. The road to the Final Four in Indianapolis, excitement and big moments for everyone following the action.
Last week, Huntington Children's Museum joined thousands of organizations nationwide in celebrating the whimsical world of Dr. Seuss during Dr. Seuss Week. Holly Belmont reports.
Oh, look at this. I do not like this one so much. All he does is yell, yell, yell. We don't like anybody to yell, do we?
Huntington Children's Museum is encouraging literacy among young readers through its Dr. Seuss Week celebration. One Fish, Two Fish, Red Fish, Blue Fish is just one of the classic stories being read throughout the week.
Can you tell me what is new? What are things in your little bed? What is new? Please tell me that.
Staff say kids are having fun learning to recognize words and sounds, an important step in building early literacy skills.
Literacy is definitely one of our focuses because in this area and then just across the country where literacy rates are falling, and we need to make sure that here we're giving that step up by being able to read.
That iconic red and white hat represents not only a cat, but a symbol of reading for kids across the country and right here in Huntington.
Notice that this is the white and this is not blue.
With literacy rates reportedly declining, museum staff say they hope events like this help spark a renewed love of reading while connecting young readers with generations before them.
Really helps create connections within families and communities to have that shared language and shared knowledge.
I will not hide this about. When he comes in, I put him out.
The museum has only been open for a year and a half, but officials say it's already hitting its stride, welcoming curious minds through the door every day. Holly Belmont, MU Report.
Huntington Children's Museum hosts events year-round to keep kids learning and having fun while doing it.
That's all for today's MU Report.
Thank you for joining us and staying connected with your campus and community.
For more updates, be sure to follow us on social media at JMC Studios.
Have a great rest of your day, and here is your quote of the day. It's not whether you get knocked down, it's whether you get back up.